We're in the middle of a sequence of verses which Mahamati is asking the Buddha. And these verses consist of lots of questions. And I'm taking these questions as rhetorical because they no longer need an answer once you're abiding in awareness, abiding in suchness. These questions relate to concerns which are based on the assumption that there's an objective, external, physical world. And as Enlightenment practitioners, we move beyond this assumption. So let's have a look. Verse 467. How does action arise? Whence is the behaviour of those who hold the body? Whence this visible world? Whence the conditions? Whence the entrance upon the stages? So how does action arise? Well, this is karma. Karma. And in traditional thought, karma has consequences. And so we try to adjust our behaviour in terms of consequences. We don't want to generate bad karma after all. So this is where action arises from. It arises from a desire to get beneficial results, particularly in relation to our material circumstances, our body and our environment. So this is what drives the behaviour of those who hold the body. Those who hold the body, we could understand this as yogis in the modern sense, that is those who practice asanas. But I think what's referred to here is the ascetics, those that they might keep their hand in the air until it becomes withered. They're trying to get some kind of dominance over the body. They're capable of extraordinary feats of endurance. But you kind of wonder, well, what's the point of it? But it's driven by a particular belief. It's driven by a belief in the nature of reality. And that belief being that there's a physical world, the body being part of the physical world. And in order to conquer the physical world, you have to conquer the body in the name of the spirit. So this is the understanding. But the next question we're asked here is, where does this notion of a visible world come from? Where does this visible world come from? What are the conditions which give rise to it? We can have a scientific explanation for the arising of this visible world. It began with the Big Bang, and we have all these billions of years of evolution and whatnot. Or you can have a religious explanation. God made it. Nice and simple. But these beliefs, whether it's scientific or religious, actually have a common assumption that this visible world has a history. It's real. It's always been there. Or it's been there since its creation. We keep feeding this belief, this assumption. It's one that we don't question. It seems ludicrous to question it, doesn't it? But this is what we're doing. We have to question it. It's an assumption, a very deep assumption, which I don't think most spiritual teachers do question. Even if you're inclined to some deeper understanding, you still tend to assume the belief in this physical, external world And so you get these systems of so-called spirituality, which are supposed to liberate you from this world. This is what many religions are about, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism. Follow this path for liberation from the world, from the body, to some divine realm. So this is the entrance upon the stages of yoga, the stages towards enlightenment. I was looking at a video which featured a talk by the Dalai Lama, and he talks about the different vehicles of Buddhism and how they're actually stages of spiritual growth. And it's just like the Bodhisattva path. It's huge. It is so huge. And I thought, well, there's enough to keep you busy there. But there are no stages. Enlightenment happens. If we're open to it, we recognize it. And as enlightenment practitioners, then the work begins. The work of becoming more and more established in it. Verse 468. Who is it that breaks through this triple existence? What is the abode? What is the body? Where does that which is abiding arise? Whence comes the son of the Buddha? Who is it that breaks through this triple existence? Well, this is the conventional understanding once again, isn't it? Spiritual hero. The triple existence is everything. And the idea that there is somebody who becomes enlightened is seeing things completely the wrong way round. I mean, that's how it's seen from the conventional perspective. We're looking for enlightenment. I want to become enlightened. It doesn't work that way. There's only awareness with a capital A. This spacious, loving, totally accepting, all-encompassing awareness. And within that awareness, there are notions of a little me. This little me is a knot in awareness. It's a little vortex. It's like a knot in a string, although there isn't any knot. At some point the knot just falls out and the string is knotless. There's no knot in the string after all. The vortex is simply water. The tension disappears. There's no me here. There's no me in awareness. Just a little kink. That kink does not become enlightened. It disappears. What is the abode? What is the body? Where does that which is abiding arise? In the past we've often heard mention of body, abode and property. And this is sometimes described as the triple world, because this is the focus of our everyday mind. We're concerned with body, we're concerned with the protection of the body in our abode, and we reinforce this further by accumulating possessions. This is our identity. Our identity is very much tied up with possessions. So what is the abode? What is the body? This is when our attention is directed out there to the conventional understanding of a physical external world. Where does that which is abiding arise? Where does that which is abiding arise? So we're being asked here to step back from this consistent preoccupation with body and abode, body and home. It arises from anxieties, insecurities, from our own psychological disposition. We need to step back from all this, step back from our psychology, step back from our moods, and step back once more into awareness. This is where the son of the Buddha comes from, or the child of the Buddha. This is when you realize your nature as a child of the Buddha. And this is our enlightenment practice, and this is continued in the next verse, 469. Who attains the psychic faculties, the self-masteries, the Samadhis? How is the mind tranquilized? Pray tell me, O bull-like victor. So Muhammad is asking another question here of the bull-like victor. The bull is unstoppable in its smashing through all these conventional structures and coming back to the all-embracing nature of awareness, the all-embracing loving nature of awareness. So this is a standard list once again. The psychic faculties, the self-masteries, the Samadhis, which I've covered in previous videos. And now I'll finish off with the Buddha's response. Verse 470. From the night of enlightenment till that of Nirvana, I have not in the meantime made any proclamation whatever. So I think Nirvana means the end of his life here. From the night of enlightenment till that of Nirvana, the Buddha has not taught anything. So if you believe that you have any understanding of the teaching of the Buddha, then this is just a notion. It's a chimera. At best it's a provisional understanding. But really, you want to let go of that at the earliest opportunity. It's rather like the raft. The Buddhist teaching is described as a raft that helps you get to the other shore. Well, actually it doesn't. It doesn't. This is just a rationalization of those who like rafts, who like to hang on to things. The raft doesn't help you get to the other shore. You're actually on it already, and yet you're insisting on building this raft. So what the Buddha is telling us in this verse is to be the bull like Victor, and just drop the raft. Drop the raft. Drop all understanding, whether of conventional reality or notions of spirituality, notions of stages, of jhanas. You can drop it all. Drop it all. Liberation is here. You need liberation not just from conventional ideas, but from spiritual ideas too. All of these are caught up, are plays of the mind. The Buddha taught nothing. Nothing isn't something. What this means is the Buddha taught being. pure being which is on the other side of our moods and our ideas and conventional understanding. Let's come back to this awareness that is hearing this. Yes, this ordinary awareness, and realize how beautiful it is, how all-embracing it is, how miraculous it is, how fresh, vibrant, all-encompassing, and how much it is essentially you.